Hi, I'm Robert Vendetti, professional comic book writer, and I want you to know about the new Bad Idea comic book series, Tankers. As the world well knows, I'm what's called a method writer. That means before I begin a project, I don't just study the material, So to take a deep dive into the subject, I came to the one place on Earth where I can operate mechanized combat equipment, dig for oil, and shoot dinosaurs. XT, baby! I'm down to the tank! No oil yet? Every second of my immersive research experience guarantees that Tankers is unlike anything you've read from me before. I should know. I've read everything I've ever written. Tankers is about a crack team of mercenaries and mech suits who work for Greenleaf Oil. They get sent back in time to divert the comet that killed the dinosaurs. More dinosaurs in the past means more oil in the present. Who doesn't love that? And with a superstar art team providing breathtaking covers and interiors, Tankers is an action-fueled thrill ride of human versus dinosaur warfare that we can't wait for you to read. So go ahead, order Tankers today. I guarantee I'll be glad you did. As for me, I'll be finishing off these dinosaurs. Extinction Day! Extinction Day.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh wait, we're live. What's the opening monologue?
Fat Jags Comics.
Welcome to a comic book shopping show. Welcome to a place where we sell books and do stuff. And
I love when that comes up, man. That's the best part, is holding this. I love it. There's nothing else. Mr. Barucci's in the chat. He can say Moonlight.
Hey, what's up, people? How you doing?
Moonlight times 3.
Welcome to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. I'm Al. That is Brendan. So if you have any negative comments about Brendan, send it over there to him. I'm just a guy just kind of hanging out here, just trying to meet a girl and talk about comics. You know, I'm just
Word man.
live my life. Gary, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Gary, we have a book you might be really interested in. Anyway, thank you everyone very much. We are back after our 1-week hiatus. I hope everyone enjoyed either their holiday or their weekend or whatever people do with their time. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, we are greatly appreciate all of your time and energy and attention. We're here to attempt to sell comic books, really. I mean, that's kind of what we're being paid to do. But at the same time, we hope to be able to talk about comic books. As we've said on our local show, if you want to know what it's like to shop at Fat Jack's Comic Crypt, this is kind of it. Two idiots talking about a bunch of stuff that some people agree with and other people violently disagree with.
That's about right.
Yeah, I mean, every now and again, a customer will ask one of us to step outside, and it's not to give us candy.
And then we just leave them right where they stand out on the street.
That is right.
That's how we do.
Again, so for anyone who is joining us for the first time, if you are, welcome. If you have seen this before, then I apologize for the boredom of the business, but we need to do the business and we need to get it out of the way. And that business is how to purchase books, how to contact us, all that kind of stuff. So
What's up? Read it.
I can't actually see, but I'm assuming down there is some of our contact information. So, okay.
If you need to purchase a book, you see the sticker on the bottom, claim a book, put the title and the number in the chat. Say you want to claim the book.
Yes, please,
Please be specific as possible with titles, issue numbers, because we're gonna as my man here gets talking, he's gonna get talking.
yeah,
We gotta.
it's like an avalanche of just knowledge and intelligence and sexiness. I mean,
encyclopedic knowledge.
Yeah, how can you keep up with it, So if you're interested in purchasing any of the books, pretty much do like what Al said. Hit us up in the chat so we know, that you're claiming that book. We can put it aside for you, all that kind of stuff. But for anyone who doesn't know, we are in Philadelphia, the awesomest, grittiest city of all time. We are Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in this great country, the United States of America. Yeah,
Real country.
real patriots here.
The most patriotic you'll meet.
Not nationalists, we're patriots. No. So if you are not in the Philadelphia area, we obviously ship. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. So let's just first say, if you are in the Philadelphia area and you claim or you want to purchase anything, we will put all of your books here behind the register for you to pick up under your name. If you are closer to our Oakland, New Jersey shop, we will ship those books over if you want to pick them up there for you. Plus, you can also say hi to Mike. But if you are outside of the area and you need us to ship the books, we will. So we have our email.
So the email in the chat, the fjccshow@gmail. Once you claim the book on the show, hit us up in the email with your contact information, and I'll be in touch with you this week. We try to ship them out usually by Wednesday. If you purchase it tonight and the payment goes through and everything, I try to ship it out Wednesday, depending on everything.
Right now. What do you like? Are we still around that like $7 shipping costs?
So for now, shipping's it's $7 now. We're gonna have to tweak our shipping prices going forward, just because I find that they've been fluctuating a little more, and it's really just the post office. Like once it hits a certain weight, it's priority no matter what. And depending on who you go to in the post office, that's just what it is.
Okay, so
we're trying. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here, and as everybody knows, the post office is not in the best shape it could be.
Yes.
So we're trying to work with everybody. Shipping costs $7 for right now, baseline. If it goes up, we will let you know on the show. We're not going to overcharge you beforehand.
No, that is not what we're looking to do. We really want to get these books to you. Again, the whole point of this is to share and sell books and get those books to you. We want to make that as easy as possible, even though for anyone who's been watching us for a little bit now, we are still learning on the job. This is a baptism by fire, and we are slowly melting. If anyone needs to, if for whatever reason you can't interact in the chat or you can't claim books in the chat, but you do want some of the books, we do give out our phone number. That number is 21963-00788.
So he got it that time.
I got it that time, especially because I sort of was able to read it.
To everybody in the chat, we will get to the books. There's some business we have to get through first. So settle down. Everybody just calm down. Don't worry. We're going to get to them.
We apologize. I was told at one point to stop making the reveals of the books a big mystery.
Yeah, no.
So sorry for the tease, but we need to do the business.
Everybody get your drinks, roll up, do whatever you need to do, and then we'll start selling books in a minute.
Yes. So let me at least let you know what hopefully our plan is tonight. For anyone who tuned into our local show prior to this one, you heard we're sort of doing a lot of books that are connected in some way or another to a lot of the Disney Plus shows that have been going on. Obviously, a lot of you have been probably watching the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I hope you've been enjoying it as much as I have. But again, everyone is open and entitled to their own opinion. Please don't tell me I'm wrong for my opinion. I don't really appreciate that. We can disagree, but absolute statements don't fly very well here, even though sometimes I shoot out a lot of absolute statements. But with that said, not only in regards to the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which obviously connects to a lot of the Captain America mythos, the Falcon, the Winter Soldier, all that good fun. But we're going to talk, a little bit about She-Hulk, who has a show coming up soon. We also have a lot of, rumors about the developing Moon Knight show that's coming out soon. Also, little connections to the Secret Invasion, or all that kind of stuff. So for anyone who's wondering, do we have a theme? Sort of. And you can probably tell by some of the key books that we are spotlighting tonight, we are sort of playing within the realm of characters and properties that are either happening right now on the Disney Plus channel or are coming in the future. Now, just for the sake of, because we never lie to you guys, Disney Plus is not... this is not a paid advertisement for them. This is just an opportunity to celebrate a bunch of really cool characters that they themselves are focusing on and who are coming into the public consciousness as we speak. Because again, let's be honest, the success of the Marvel movies and the Marvel shows are expanding the public's awareness of some amazing characters. Some of those characters obviously being She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night. The different characters, there's a lot of rumors about Tanisha Coates. He's developing a World of Wakanda show. So characters from the Dora Milaje, they pop up here. Obviously, if anyone's been watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier recently, you know exactly how badass and awesome the Dora Milaje are. Specifically, a character by the name of Ayo. I think that's how you pronounce it. What's that? Io.
We got that confirmation. Thank you, Mr. Lime.
Thank you, Mr. Lime. I appreciate that.
And
Io.
Before we continue with anything,
okay.
Zainin is in the chat.
Okay, hold on.
Can I get a Ric Flair for Zainin in the chat?
Woo! Yeah! All right, Zainin's in the chat.
Zanin's in the chat. All right.
Love it.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
There we go. See you. Peace. Come on. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for putting up with us.
Shout out to Angel and Jason and Fred Chamberlain, everybody else in the chat as well. Who I didn't get to acknowledge. They're all, I think, from out of state. Lord Howard Hertz is in the chat as well. So
excellent.
But Zainin, I'm sorry. That's just he has to go first.
Hey, like we've had very few fans from the very beginning. Mr. Williams, Mr. Hunter, Mr. Lime, a lot of great guys. But Zainin, you have been a spirit animal to us.
How many other customers can claim they used to ride up here on their bikes with their bike gang?
That is true.
And pick up books in high school.
Yeah. Plus, he even said, he's like, you guys are a little punk rock.
Yeah.
And that really, really made me happy.
He said this is a real Philly show.
Real Philly show. And Zainin, I appreciate that.
I was like that Native American when he cried at the litter.
Excellent.
Shout out to Ed is in the chat. What's up, Ed?
How you doing, everybody? Again, anybody who we don't shout out, I apologize. We would love to sit here and just say hi to everybody. But I guess at some point we have to move along.
We do have to actually sell
with the actual point that we're all here to do. So with that said, let's talk about some of the books that we have up here. So let's start off right here in the front row. And this front row primarily deals with a lot of rumors and speculation in regards to the She-Hulk series. She-Hulk has already been cast. There are a lot of other secondary characters that have been cast. So some of the speculation and rumors are starting to become more confirmed. Obviously, anything can change until you're actually sitting there on your couch watching it happen. It's all still speculation, no matter how confirmed things are. But one thing that is without question is the fact that a little first appearance published here in 1980 in response to a television show that Marvel was very scared was going to introduce a female version of their character, that being the Hulk. Marvel was like, wait a minute, we have this Spider-Man TV show, we got this Hulk TV show, we can't have these networks introducing female versions of our characters that then we won't own. So what are we going to do? We're going to create Spider-Woman and we're going to create She-Hulk. And here we are. Now, this She-Hulk book, again, because of the Disney Plus series, it's starting to appreciate, starting to go up in value. And this is Savage She-Hulk #1, a very fine plus copy, the first appearance and origin of Jen Walters. Jen Walters, right? Is it Walters? Yeah, it's Walters, yeah. For a split second, I wanted to say Jen Banner. I'm like, no, it's not.
No.
But anyway, this is the first appearance of She-Hulk. This is a very fine plus copy at $80. Now, I want to say real quick, this is a gorgeous copy. But the reason why I can't sit here and say it's a very fine near mint as much as I would love to is, as you can tell, this is one of those issues that has a white cover. And so the white is starting to become a little off-white. So the only real glaring kind of condition thing that knocks its value down a teeny bit is that slight off-white coloring of the cover. But with that said, this is still just a beautiful copy. The spine is gorgeous. The staples are clean. The edges are, they're teeny bit rounded, but they're not torn. They're not crackling. Everything is good. There's no writing on it. No one wrote ox in the middle. In the middle of the book, no one scribbled. You notice how many issues in that collection we got where they scribbled out the price and the issue number with a ballpoint pen? Guess what, people? It didn't go away.
To make up for it, there was food on the back of the lot.
There's food on the back of the lot too. Anyway, here we go. This is the Savage She-Hulk #1, first appearance and origin of the She-Hulk.
Well, thank you to Mr. Xenon. He's going to pick it up.
Thank you very much.
So I appreciate that.
Greatly appreciated. I was pretty sure that one wasn't going to last too long.
That's an awesome cover.
Now, yes, and speaking of that cover, I have a zombie variant version of that cover. But allow me a moment. I'm going to talk about these specific 3 issues because technically speaking, these 3 issues are the same book. They just have different covers. Now, why does this book have value? All right.
Wait, before we go on, so Fred has a question. There was he and Angel Xenon both claimed the book. What it appears at the same time. Fred's on the Facebook chat. Mr. Xenon is on the YouTube chat. So we're not just doing it by whoever we see first. It's all time stamped, and our producer Kyle will pick whoever. So I'm sorry, Fred. He must have got you by like 10 seconds. But there are 2 separate chats. But Kyle, the producer, kind of monitors everything, and he puts up whoever grabs it first. He's only up and up.
We apologize that can be frustrating, and trust me, anytime we have multiple copies of a book, I'll immediately try to jump. But that's She-Hulk. We were lucky enough to just get that recently. In fact, a lot of these issues are books that we've recently come into possession of, which is obviously why we want to promote them. Whether they sell on the show or not tonight, which as much as we love them all too, at least if anything else, the show is a great opportunity to let people know what we have here at Fat Jack's in Philadelphia.
And for everybody, apparently the YouTube chat is a bit faster. If you're looking to claim books, maybe that's the way to go.
Maybe the YouTube's the better.
Yeah. And you want to see comments?
And just so we're clear, Al and I are idiots when it comes to this stuff. So we're going off on what other people tell us.
Now, we can see all the comments. I can't interact with the comments. Otherwise, I would just type all this. But if you're in the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat, you can't see the other. So, there's no way for everybody to see all the chats unless you're part of the show. Sorry.
So, yeah.
That's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
So, Mr. Chamberlain, I apologize. He beat you by just a minute, but we are trying to be fair with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, we're not trying to blow smoke up anyone's ass.
And we finally, what is this, the 8th month of shows you've been doing?
Something like that.
All right, so it's been 8 months. Shout out to Pancake Waffleist, the first person to mention the arm.
No way, for real?
Yep.
What they say?
Wants to know how much for the Chuck Palahniuk arm.
Oh my God, they actually knew who it was too.
Favorite author of all time from
nice.
Pancake Waffleist.
You know, one of my great regrets is Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know how. Maybe Eric told him that I was a big fan. I love his work. And he was so nice enough to send us these strange severed arms that he signed, which were so super cool. But he also sent a first printing of Fight Club signed, which is now one of my prized possessions. But the coolest thing of all is he actually made this strange, weird costume jewelry necklace out of old costume jewelry from his mother. And he like, it's this huge, weird thing. He sent it with like a personal note to me. And I was like, so like moved. I'm like, I don't know, like, how do I write a thank you note and stuff like that? But it didn't matter because a pandemic happened. And suddenly there were bigger issues than if I write Chuck back a thank you note that he probably doesn't remember.
Shout out to Chuck Palahniuk. He never got you that thank you note.
I'm a terrible person. Sorry, Chuck.
Apologies. We still have your arm and we're using it.
Hey, it is one. If anything else, this was my very first co-host.
There you go.
You know, in fact, I wanted to do a whole thing where all I did was talk to it and never explain what was happening.
That was vetoed early on.
Oh, yeah. The higher-ups didn't like that idea.
That was poo-pooed all over.
In fact, I'm pretty sure the first show I brought that up, a bunch of people went, why the hell do you have that? And I went, just because. And they went, what does that mean? And I went, because?
Gary Lime confirms. Mr. Palahniuk, very nice to fans.
Oh, excellent. That's great. Because, dude, like everything, like how he treated us at the shop, he seems like a stand-up dude, and I like that because I'm somebody, I don't like meeting my heroes, or I don't like meeting people whose art I truly love, just in case they don't turn out to be maybe somebody I would want to have a drink with, or talk to, or interact with at all.
Yeah.
That's I don't like that.
No, yeah.
Okay, anyway, so let's slide it back real quick to the books before we completely run out of time. Okay, so what I was talking about in regards to She-Hulk, okay? Now, this is very specific to the Disney Plus show, okay? Because, as some of you might know, they are also creating the Secret Invasion show. And if you saw the Captain Marvel movie, or if you saw the post-credit scenes of WandaVision, they are still filtering in different Skrull characters.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
They're building it up. So one Skrull character is this character here. Let me get her name right. It's Jacinda with a Z. All right. So this was when Peter David took over the book from Dan Slott. This is She-Hulk issue number 22. And in this issue, She-Hulk sort of becomes this bounty hunter. But what happens is whenever She-Hulk has to fight a supervillain, Jennifer Walters is still a bounty hunter. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute. How can She-Hulk be in two places at the same time? Well, it's because this is the first appearance of her friend Jacinda. And Jacinda looks exactly like Jen Walters. And you're thinking to yourself, how does this character look exactly like her? And that is because, as you will quickly find out, Jacinda is a Skrull. And she's introduced as a Skrull in issue number 23, which I don't have here right now. But if anyone's interested, it's a $5 book at Very Fine Near Mint. But the book that's carrying the value is issue number 22 here, because Jacinda has been confirmed to be in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. So that pretty much indicates, at least to me as an educated guess, that Marvel is still sort of seeding their Secret Invasion Skrull storyline. So it would make sense. Here you have a partner of the She-Hulk, a Skrull herself. Why not introduce her into the show? Keep developing Skrulls living here on Earth, and then maybe that blows up into the whole Secret Invasion series. So, as we now know, and I'm pretty sure there's even an actress confirmed that has already been cast as this character. So we're getting closer and closer to like legit, like hard facts in regards to this character. So this is a Very Fine Near Mint copy at $15. Now, along with this issue were two variant covers, one of which just got grabbed. Yes, thank you, Mr. Williams. That was by Ed McGuinness, and that is a zombie variant to look like an homage of the original Savage She-Hulk #1 cover. The other variant is this one. Yes, so here. So there you go. So just to...
nobody can have those. They're claimed.
Yeah, these are claimed. It was just to show people, just for the sake of, conversation. We're just having fun here. All right, so here we go. So the other variant is also by Ed McGuinness, but this is just Ed McGuinness just doing She-Hulk being badass, just punching something. This is a Very Fine Near Mint copy at $20. So again, to reiterate, this is the very first issue of the Peter David run of She-Hulk, which he took over after Dan Slott, as Dan Slott moved over to Amazing Spider-Man. But the thing that gives these two issues value is the first appearance of a character by the name of Jacinda, who is She-Hulk's partner in her little bounty hunter business, and is also revealed to be a Skrull. So there we go.
Can you pass me the issue 22 variant edition?
Yes, there we go. The Ed McGuinness.
Thank you, Mr. Freeze.
Jaded, episode number 1. All right.
Right on.
Good stuff. There we go. All right, and the normal cover, for anyone who doesn't recognize that art, that is Mike Deodato Jr. Try to get where the player's not too crazy. That's a nice, cool little, almost looks like She-Hulk's tearing through her own poster. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but it's funny. In fact, I know I have it. I apologize. I'm going to step off every now and again just to kind of...
Don't worry, I'll entertain everybody.
Yeah, so just for the sake of, because I mentioned it, I wanted to be able to show it. This is She-Hulk issue number 23, the issue that takes place right after this one. This is the issue, it's very fine near mint, $5, but this is the issue where it is revealed that Jacinda is actually a Skrull. And yes, She-Hulk knows that. So there we go. All right, good times. Now, let's move on to a show that is still a little bit down the road, but they're casting, the rumors are starting to become confirmed, all that kind of stuff. And that is the Disney Plus series Moon Knight. As we are aware, Oscar Isaacs, who is just a brilliant actor, he's been cast as Moon Knight. They are also casting characters like Marlene, Moon Knight's love interest, Frenchie. You have the character, is it Bushmaster? Not Bushwhack. I think it's Bushmat. Where's my notes? I should take better care of this stuff. Where's my Moon Knight? In fact, Al, I'm pretty sure the Moon Knight's. Look up Marvel Spotlight. Anyway, let me just talk about what is actually here in front of me before I just rattle off like a fool. Okay, for many of you are probably aware, Moon Knight was originally introduced in Werewolf by Night issue number 32. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, there is a big rumor that has practically been confirmed at this point that Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night character, is going to be introduced in the Moon Knight series, sort of like a inverse of how Moon Knight was introduced in the Werewolf by Night series. So here we have, it's $5 at issue 23. So here we have Marvel Spotlight issue number 2. Now, this is the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. And you ask yourself, you're like, $60? Well, the condition is very good. Right here, you have, in fact, this bottom corner of the spine is pretty much what kills most of its value. It's a little chewed up, but you have some of that, what do we refer to it as? Marvel crackling? Chipping or something like that. Right along here, you have some yellowing of the pages. The cover is still gorgeous in regards to colors and stuff like that, and that is a Neil Adams cover for anyone not familiar. But even at very good, this book is so hot, and it's going for so much right now, that even at very good, it's a $60 book, okay? Now, again, I can't remember the last time I actually saw this book myself, but this is Marvel Spotlight, issue number 2, the very first appearance of Werewolf by Night. Now, I don't have the first appearance of Moon Knight. That'd be awesome if we did, but we don't. But the one thing we do have is we have Marvel Spotlight, issue number 28. Now, we have 2 copies of this. This one here is a very fine plus, and that one back there is a very fine minus. All right, so Marvel Spotlight, issue number 28, is when Moon Knight gets his first solo series. But the biggest thing about this issue, it might not be the first appearance of Moon Knight, but pretty much this is where they begin to introduce and develop a lot of the secondary characters that will become important to the Moon Knight mythos. Specifically, this is the first appearance of Marlene, who is the love interest of Moon Knight. Yes, Al?
Fred's going to claim the very fine plus.
Okay, excellent. So there we are, $80. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous copy. Moon Knight, you get a lot of his like weapons and like cool stuff. So here, there's that one.
Marlene and Crawley.
And Crawley. I forgot about, yes, Crawley. That's a character that becomes later important. I just want everyone to know, also, we do have this copy here. This is a very fine minus, so it's about a $20 difference between the better copy. But still, it's a $60 book. And again, it's an iconic cover. It's Moon Knight.
Right.
These books are only going to get bigger.
Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain's taking them both.
Oh, taking them both. Excellent.
Right on.
That's smart. Now, before I completely run, I appreciate, guys. I love that you buy these books, but it's so funny how sometimes I have so much to say, and then I'm like, oh, okay, buy book. All that research gone. But here we go. This is the very first solo series, like ongoing series. So the Marvel Spotlight is the very first time that Moon Knight gets his own sort of title for a period of time. Up until then, he was just a guest star slash antagonist who would pop up in Werewolf by Night with those Marvel Spotlights. He kind of got his own solo thing. They began to develop his own mythos and his own like supporting cast. And then from Doug Moench and Bill Sienkiewicz, when he was still doing Neil Adams, you got the very first ongoing series of Moon Knight. This is Moon Knight #1 from 1980. Now, this is also really fleshing out the Moon Knight cast and the mythos. So this issue is the first appearance of Bushman. That's the character, Bushman, which has been confirmed to be one of the main villains in the Moon Knight series. So again, as much as first appearance of heroes are very important, first appearances of villains, especially ones that appear in these movies and shows, also take on a new level of significance. Not only, though, is this the first appearance of Bushman, but it is also the first appearance and mention of the god Khonshu. So the very first time that even the origin, really, of Moon Knight. This issue is when you start getting into the origin. It's also the very first appearance, technically, of Moon Knight's two main aliases, or his personas, depending if you think he's crazy or not. And that is Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley. Khonshu. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So anyway, let's not babble on too much. This is a very fine plus copy at $40.
So Mr. Williams is going to claim Moon Knight #1.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. We're going to take a break after this. But first, Ed in the chat, if you were looking for the Werewolf by Night or Marvel Spotlight #2, let us know. I thought you were talking about the She-Hulk. But apparently everybody in the chat thinks you wanted that one. So just let me know if I made a mistake. It's no problem.
Yeah, we'll work it out right now, but I guess we're going to go for a break. So I guess, Kyle, take it away.
Take it away, Kyle.
We know this has been a difficult time for you. We know you are scared. Here at Regenerist Tech we have developed a safe and effective solution to our worldwide problem. Trust Regenerist. We give you back your life.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
welcome back.
Oh, is it back time? Are we back?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Just keep going.
Keep going. Okay.
What's that? Is that the Dougie?
Is that the Dougie? I don't know. What is the Dougie?
What do you call? Oh no, it's that when you do
Oh,
it.
the dapping.
That.
Wait, time out. Are we a bunch of like 40-year-old dudes trying to talk about like dances that were already out of date? They're not even the dances that people are doing right now.
What you know about the Cabbage Patch?
Oh, hey man, when's the last time you guys did the Running Man? What was it, mashed potato?
Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. All right.
Okay, everyone. Welcome back. It's a pleasure to see you all. We're just going to keep moving along with just some of these books we have.
So all this nonsense.
All this nonsense. So, real quick, before we completely get off the She-Hulk train, I just wanted to show off a couple more like fun little She-Hulk books, just to kind of give some indicate. Whoa.
Before you start, we have a question about Marvel Spotlight from number 2 from a new viewer.
Oh, excellent. And the question is?
Is that a Marvel Spotlight number 2?
Okay. Yes, this is Marvel Spotlight number 2, the first appearance of Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night. Now, the reason it is only $60, which might seem expensive if you don't really know how valuable this book really is. This is a very good condition. The main issue with the book, really, in terms of condition, is the bottom little corner here. It's hard to see, yeah, but it's it's a teeny piece of the cover is missing. A small little part of the spine is missing. The pages are all still there, but it's the cover and the spine are kind of torn. Also, the pages are yellowing, even though the cover is still gorgeous, which is good, and it has a teeny bit of that shelf wear when some other book must have been pressing on it. Now, the cool thing about that, at least, you can press that out with ease. But still, very good, $60. You're still looking at a book that has a lot of value, even when it's not in the greatest condition. But yes, that is absolutely a Marvel Spotlight, issue number 2. First appearance of Werewolf by Night, Neil Adams cover, all that good times. Okay, so you all right?
Yeah. I don't believe, Mr. Lime had a question. I don't believe any of the Byrne She-Hulk trades are in print.
No.
I'm assuming they're probably going to do some kind of epic if they're doing these shows. They'll be back in print in the next couple months, but we don't have anything at the moment.
Yeah. Which that then goes, because we barely have no John Byrne She-Hulk issues even. But we do have these 2 up here that I want to show off. Now, this one is She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk, number 8. Now, this one is, yes, that is Santa Claus right there, who is a detective who helps She-Hulk track down a serial killer. But, okay, it's only $4. It's no big deal, right? Why am I showing this book? Why would I even pull this book out and spotlight it next to a bunch of other key iconic books? Because, all right, there was this internet meme that is kind of taken the world by storm over the past couple years. It is the one where a boyfriend and a girlfriend are walking past a beautiful woman who's walking past them. The boyfriend is looking at the beautiful woman walking by, while his girlfriend stares at the back of his head with a very incredulous look on her face. Okay, I'm not saying this book is the origin of that meme, but there's a panel in this issue where it is almost an exact replica of that meme image, to the point where the internet, when you look this book up, Sensational She-Hulk number 8, some people honestly say it is the origin of an internet meme. I mean, okay, but hey, it was worth pulling out just to talk about.
Well, all right. First and foremost, thank you to Mr. Netter for picking up Marvel Spotlight. You can see our email at the bottom of the screen. You can email your contact information, and then we'll be in touch throughout the week. We can get payment from you, so on and so forth. But that email is key for getting in touch with us. Mr. Williams claimed all the Sensational She-Hulk issues right as you started talking about him.
Okay.
Gary Lime claimed the Santa She-Hulk. So technically, Mr. Williams got them all. If we have another copy, we can get Gary Lime a copy.
Okay, so real quick, so just so we're clear about the Sensational She-Hulks, there's only 2 up here, okay? Because the others we'll talk about in a second. That was during the Dan Slott stuff. So, Mr. Williams, let's just be clear. There are 2 Sensational She-Hulk issues up here. The Santa Claus solves a serial killer and maybe gives birth to one of the more famous internet memes of recent history. And the John Byrne draws a really sexy She-Hulk, and the internet goes wild, and the book becomes more expensive. TNA, guys. Sex sells. So are these, Mr. Williams, are these only these 2? That's what we're talking about when we talk about taking all sensationals. Okay.
He got excited. He said, give me the sensational.
Okay, so there we go. And Mr. Lime, Wordman, I am positive I have another copy, and I want to pull that out right now before I forget. Tell me it's not exactly here when I go looking for it. That would be embarrassing. And I'm still talking. Yes, found it. Okay, so actually, for anyone who's interested, I actually have 2 more copies. But just so we're clear, this is a very fine plus copy that is the same as that one over there for $4. But if you're buying this more on a lark, I do have a cheaper copy. This is a fine plus at $2. So
Mr. Lime, you let us know.
So Mr. Lime, yeah, Wordman, let us know. Do you want the nicer copy or the not beat up? It's a good copy, but one's $4, one's $2. Okay.
Mr. Chamberlain has a question. Can you claim books before they're being described? So we try to keep it fair for everybody that kind of wait until the book is at least mentioned. If it's, if you see a Moon Knight up there and you've been waiting for Moon Knight for your whole life and it's a key issue, just jump into chat and claim it. It's fine.
Yeah, again, we're not perfect at this yet, so we're still learning. So in all fairness, if you see a book and you want that book and I'm not talking about it or what have you, hit us up in the chat. There's no harm in us stopping to focus on the book real quick that you want to purchase so we can then,
when everybody could see when the chat started, talk about this, we kind of want to wait until we actually start talking about the books before you start claiming them. That being said, like we said, we're trying to make it fair for everybody.
Yeah. So if you're afraid that you're like, I want that book, and we're not. God, we still don't have this.
It's just
perfect.
I mean, it's
Did he want the $2 one?
Gary's gonna take the $2 one for Dave Proch.
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. Cool. So we still have a $4 one.
We still have a $4 one if anybody wants.
All right. Yeah. So we haven't perfected this whole thing yet. Like I said, at one point I would do the show where all these books would be turned around, and then we kind of controlled the pacing. Where I pretty much dictated that we only talked and saw the book that I revealed. But I was informed by some people that maybe that's not the best way, and I don't know if I agree, but I'm willing to try different things to learn what works best, because inevitably I want this to work best for you. Because as much as Al and I enjoy just hanging out, talking comics, and bullshitting with everybody, Mike would really like for us to sell some books. So if it benefits you in purchasing books that we do it a certain way, we're open to that. So, please, constructive criticism is always valued. Straight trolling is ignored. Okay. So with that said, let's just get through this. Yes, Jim.
No, everybody says, even if the book's claimed, they'd like to hear what you have to say about it.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, guys. It's so sweet.
I'm saying you want him to talk more. That's what you're all saying.
Yeah. I don't think anyone is.
Then who's going to co-host with?
I don't think anyone has ever said, "I want that idiot to talk more." In fact, I'm pretty sure teachers asked me to leave the class so I would stop talking.
I'm going to throw this out for the chat.
Yes.
Is there a sexier comic book character than John Byrne's She-Hulk? Male or female? I don't care.
Okay, too much information. I loved John Byrne's Sensational She-Hulk, and the great joke of older like friends and stuff in the neighborhood is, did I have fun when I would take my She-Hulk comics into the bathroom? The implication being very obvious. I never appreciated their humor, but at the same time, I won't deny the fact, as a fictional character who is also green, She-Hulk is quite... But actually, no, this is a great segue, okay, in regards to the objectification of She-Hulk as a sexy character. Because a lot of comic writers over the years, especially in the 80s and 90s, yes, she is a character with a lot of agency and stuff like that, yet she slept around a lot. If you were ever, like, in the Chuck Austin X-Men run, she randomly sleeps with the Juggernaut. She has intimate relationships with lots of characters, okay? Which leads to an interesting issue, a very controversial issue, and that is the Dan Slott run of She-Hulk, issue number 6. This is the issue. It's a very fine near minute, $5. But really, just like with that Avengers issue we talked about 2 weeks ago with the very explicit oral sex scene.
Oh,
yes.
To Mr. Williams, who purchased that issue, I got a copy for myself. I found another one.
Nice.
And I was really excited about it.
So, at one point during the 80s Avengers run, when Star Fox and She-Hulk were on the team together, the implication was that they slept together a lot. Well, we later find out in the 90s when other writers started to kind of think about Star Fox's sort of manipulative powers, that maybe a lot of the women that he slept with maybe didn't have as much agency, or let's use the word that is very uncomfortable for some people, and that is maybe a lot of these women did not give their consent in the intimate relationships that they would have with Eros, Star Fox. So Dan Slott leaned right into that, and you get the issue where Star Fox is on trial for sexual assault. And She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, has to defend him, but while defending him, begins to wonder if maybe she was also...
Is Star Fox, this is Mr. Chamberlain, is Star Fox the Pepe Le Pew of the Marvel?
Yes. Thank you. You said it. I did it. But that is absolutely true. There's a reason why you haven't seen much Star Fox ever since this issue. I'm convinced. Because his powers, they just, in 2021 eyes, how can you look at this character
He's an 80s teen movie.
Yes.
He's Revenge of the Nerds. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable.
Yes. He's an outdated character because his basic powers are unto themselves problematic nowadays.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, so there we go. So it is one of the great controversial Marvel issues when Star Fox goes on trial for sexual assault.
So now, and Kyle pointed this out. Shout out to Mr. Netter who purchased something. He has a Chuck Palahniuk arm on his bookcase.
Really?
So that's twice in one night this was pointed out. The arm was addressed.
Good stuff, man.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure Chuck, that was his go-to. Like, I imagine they just buy a lot of these for really cheap. They dip them in some red stuff. He writes his name. Some are a little bit more legible than others. I always like does anyone ever know what whenever he does his K, he always does an arrow, and it almost always points to the pointer finger. So, I mean, it seems self-explanatory.
So we got a John Romita's Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane Watson. We're extremely sexy.
Quite.
That 80s Storm in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Silk getting some...
oh, that's so good.
And John Byrne's Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, that's true. The other problem with Scarlet Witch is she has no personality until later. Like, that's the one, like, some of these 80s writers, they know how to write women.
Well, that's why they write She-Hulk sleeping with everybody.
That is true. Okay, let me just look. Oh, okay, yes. All right. Okay, this is a great segue, actually. Let me go
crushing it with the segues.
Let me get my segue books here. All right, first of all, let's just quickly point this one out. This one has value because it is a Deadpool variant. This is She-Hulk issue number 9. This is the She-Hulk pulls back the curtain to reveal half-naked Deadpool. It's a very fine near-mint copy at $15. But the segue is this. All right, so this is The Savage, The Sensational, She-Hulk 100. This is issue number 3 of the Dan Slott She-Hulk run, but, obviously it is the 100th issue of She-Hulk when you combine Savage and Sensational together. Excuse me. All right. So this was a big double-sized, it was a huge issue. I think it cost like $5 or $6. This is a very fine near mint copy at $10. Now, the reason why this is kind of fun or worth talking about right now is it is the first appearance of 2 characters. Mr. Ouroboros, like, the snake eating its tail, Ouroboros, and Mr. Paradox. It is the first appearance of these 2 characters. And these 2 characters are clones of another character, a character by the name of Mr. Mobius. Now, for anyone who's like, who the hell is Mr. Mobius? He was first introduced in Walt Simonson's Fantastic Four run, which was all about like the time variance authority and all that kind of stuff. Well, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention to this Disney Plus stuff, there is a character played by Owen Wilson in the new Loki show coming up. It is confirmed that Owen Wilson is playing the character Mr. Mobius. So right now, all of these books that have any connection to this time variance authority characters and stuff like that, because everyone's clamoring to find the next big thing, and the Loki stuff is leaning heavily into all of this time travel stuff, as we all probably are aware of if you've seen any of the trailers or you watched Endgame and you saw what happened to Loki. So anyway, this is just the first appearance of these 2 characters. For some people who are like, whatever, but I don't know. Who knows? Like, the internet is interested and is convinced that somehow there's going to be multiple Owen Wilsons on the show. But so with this said, speaking of time variance characters, now this is Avengers West Coast issue number 62. Now, it is not in the best condition, so it is only $4. It's a fine minus. But it's a book that has a little bit of value right now in better condition, primarily because it's the first full appearance of the Time Variance Authority sort of team. Now, there's a lot of debate in regards to which characters actually constitute the Time Variance Authority, which characters are just sort of peripheral, like the Timekeepers. You got the origin of Immortus. It's a very weird issue that everyone's kind of trying to figure out if it's real to what's going on in the Disney Plus shows or if we're all fooling ourselves. So, but hey, it's only $4. It's not that big of a deal. But with that said, one of the other big rumors in regards to the Loki show is different versions of Loki. People are debating if the female version will show up, but one version people are convinced is coming is Kid Loki. And this is the very first appearance of Loki as a child in the Thor comics. This is Thor 617 from the Matt Fraction run. This is a very fine near mint copy at $10. First appearance of Kid Loki. Now, with that said, you also get a series. Now, nothing in this series is like first appearances or anything of that nature. Most of the value of these books, and I'm pretty sure the first issue we had, which was the very famous cover, we sold earlier in a show from a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, whatever the case may be. But this is the Vote Loki miniseries. It was a 4-issue miniseries that came out a few years ago. The first issue has that very famous Loki sort of as a politician poster that they obviously use in the trailer. There he is. It's exactly how he looks on the cover of Vote Loki #1. But as people keep speculating and stuff like that, even issue 2, 3, and 4 are starting to kind of like tick up a little bit. But for what we're doing here, we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America, things of that nature. Here's a fun little cover by Thad Moore. This is Captain America punches Loki while Falcon looks on. Obviously, this is an homage to Captain America #1, where he punches out Hitler. This is a very fine near mint copy at $6. Right behind that, though, this is a variant. This is a 1 in 25 Dave Johnson variant of Loki and Jane Foster's Thor. Now, this is a very fine near mint copy at $20. Again, this is a rare variant. It's pretty much Loki putting a little, like, political bumper sticker on Mjolnir. But again, that is a $20 book at Very Fine Near Mint. Right behind that is another Thad Moore cover, Loki Kissing a Baby, Very Fine Near Mint copy at $6. And that also has a variant. This is the Vote Loki propaganda poster. This is the Francovalli 1 in 25 variant, Very Fine Near Mint at $20. And last but not least is the final issue and the Thad Moore cover of Vote Loki number 4, Very Fine Near Mint at $6. All right. So there we go. So that's pretty much stuff in regards to our She-Hulk, in regards to a little bit of the Loki stuff. They all sort of kind of like I was talking about before, in the same way that a lot of the movies set up other movies and stuff, it's obvious that Disney is doing the same, and Marvel are doing the same exact thing for the shows. The shows are constantly setting each other up, and they're constantly interconnected. I mean, it's good television, and it's also good for the secondary market of comic books. That's for sure. All right, so there we go. So there's our She-Hulks up there hanging out. Our little Jacinda first appearance. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to roll back to a peripheral character right now in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We're breaking.
Oh, actually, we're breaking.
We're gonna break in like 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds.
Is WrestleMania tonight?
WrestleMania's tonight?
I think so.
Okay.
So we've gone up against
the Super Bowl,
the Grammys,
the Golden Globes,
WrestleMania, whatever other wrestling thing was in January.
Was that Royal Rumble?
Is Royal Rumble January?
January?
I feel like that's like around now. No, it's in like the fall.
You think that's in the fall? That's like more of a Thanksgiving. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Hey, our little show has gone up against a lot of epic.
And we're still here.
We're still here.
That's right.
The Super Bowl didn't even kill us. But real quick, when we come back from our break, we're going to talk about James Rhodes, okay? And we'll talk about some other stuff.
Do you like ghost stories? I hope so. My name is Lawrence, a husband and a father. In life, I was a professor of religious literature and history. If I was still alive, I guess I'd still be all of those things. But I'm not. I'm dead. Like I said, ghost story. Believe me, I never imagined I'd be here, helping others heal in the afterlife. So where is here? This is the scene. It's the middle place where souls must confront the traumas of their past. Here I lead souls away from their demons that haunt them. I must also defend these lost souls from others who would prey on them. To do this, I use the power of the Staff of Truth to help them break free. It isn't easy. Clearly, they need help and hope, and that's where I come in. I am a guide of souls. I'm the shepherd.
Hey, hello. Oh, you caught us.
WrestleMania. What's the best WrestleMania, everybody? What's your favorite WrestleMania to all you wrestling fans?
That's a really great question. I mean, as a kid, I always go back to, was it 3 or 2 when Hulk Hogan fought King Kong Bundy?
I think it was 2. It was 3 Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant.
I think so. That was a great one.
What was the big one? It was like the open air stadium.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then, wasn't the first Royal Rumble done on one of the WrestleManias? Before it became its own thing?
Before it became its own.
I think yeah, because that was the one where everyone was trying to get Andre the Giant out.
3 was Hulk and Andre.
Okay. Oh, that was.
That's Hulk and okay. That makes sense.
Let's go. Which one was the first Royal Rumble where no one could get Andre the Giant out of the ring? That was awesome. You ever watch that documentary about him?
I haven't seen anything. Is there like a newer one? I saw one a
Yeah,
couple
it
years
was
ago.
like one from like a year or 2 ago, or maybe it was 2 or 3.
Oh, it was the
years ago.
HBO thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Dude, he was awesome.
He's an interesting dude.
He was fascinating. And Box Brown, was that the Philadelphia artist?
That's
that
it.
did
Yeah,
that?
he did the Andre the Giant book.
That was a great book. Hey, if we had that, I'd be pulling that out right now.
That's
That was a great book. I wonder if it's even still in print.
It was like 01 press or so. I don't even know if that printing.
If it even
it's like
exists.
they got bought by Top Shelf or something.
Yeah, that would make sense. Does anyone know anything about the Box Brown, Andre the Giant graphic novel?
He did something recently too. Like he had a new book out.
And it was about somebody, right?
Yeah, damn it.
Is it Andy Kaufman? Almost feels like it would, right? No? Okay, all right.
But back to comics.
Back to comics. Okay.
If anybody has a favorite WrestleMania, hit it up in the chat or a Royal Rumble, whatever you want to do.
We're always interested.
SummerSlam, bring it on.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. We're very fascinated to hear everyone's thoughts and stuff like that. Okay, so we're now going to talk about a character who has appeared in the movies, a character that has already appeared, I believe, one time in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. We don't know if he's going to reappear anymore in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but we do know that he's going to be a major part of another Disney Plus series called Armor Wars. And that is Don Cheadle's version of James Rhodes' The War Machine. So, with that said, we have here, this is the very first, now again, so James Rhodes initially takes the War Machine armor, okay? And that's in Iron Man like 254 or something like that, okay? So this is not the first appearance of the War Machine armor. That is not the first time that Roddy puts on the War Machine armor. Why this book has relevance to the secondary market and why it's increasing in value. And just so we're clear, this is a very fine near mint minus copy at $30. This is the issue where Roddy assumes the actual code name War Machine, where he becomes a new character by the name of War Machine. Now, it's not just the armor. It's not just him pretending to be another version of Iron Man or what have you. He is now officially War Machine, the character. So there we go. This is Avengers West Coast, issue 94. Roddy assumes the code name War Machine. Look, from the heavy metal pages of Iron Man, the newest West Coast member is War Machine. All right, so there we go. All right. So here we have Invincible Iron Man, issue 169. This is a very fine plus copy at $15. This is the issue where Roddy assumes the role of Iron Man, where pretty much Tony Stark quits and James Rhodes becomes Iron Man. Now, what leads up to inevitably this issue is, now we don't have the whole storyline, but one of the most famous, if not the most famous Iron Man story is the Demon in the Bottle story. That's, Tony's drunk and he's got to deal with it. So right here is Invincible Iron Man. Yes, did you have a question?
No, Mr. English is in the chat.
Hey, Mr. English, what's up, buddy? Okay, so here we go. This is Invincible Iron Man 122. This is a fine copy at $10. This is part 3 of the Demon in the Bottle storyline. And then right next to that is the Invincible Iron Man issue 125. This is part 6 of Demon in the Bottle. This is the issue that also starts to explain the origin of Tony Stark. And for people who care, it is the first cover appearance of James Rhodes. Okay, if you can see him in the background. Also, it is the 4th appearance of Scott Lang as Iron Man. So this is a very fine copy at $16. And then right next to that, just because it's fun, is Iron Man 133, a very fine copy at $12. This is where Iron Man and the Hulk fight. It's where Scott Lang as Ant-Man and James Rhodes try to help out Tony, but he is a big old drunk. So there we go. So there is a few Iron Man comics specifically in relationship to James Rhodes, who became the second Iron Man and who later on became War Machine, which he is now known as, and is an important important character in the MCU.
Can you pass me all of the Iron Man issues?
Okay.
Mr. English is going to take all the Iron Man.
Even the Avengers West Coast?
He didn't specify that. He said all the Iron Man. Would you like the Avengers West Coast as well, Mr. English?
Yeah, so just to be clear, Mr. English, so these 4 issues are the actual Iron Man title. This is Avengers West Coast issue 94, which is James Rhodes officially becoming War Machine. Now, again, I want to clarify, it's not the first time he wore the War Machine armor. It's the first time that he becomes the character War Machine.
It's like the first cover appearance too, or something.
It's It's like stuff like that. It's again, the secondary market defines this stuff.
Mr. English, you got them all.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. English. It is an absolute pleasure. Okay, so next up, we're gonna do. This is just fun. As far as I'm aware, this character isn't appearing in any show or what have you. But there's a bit of a joke in this that I just wanted to bring up because it says so much about the character, I guess. Here we go. All right, so this is Captain America and the Falcon, issue number 217. Okay, this is the first appearance of Marvel Boy. Now, just so we're clear, it's the second Marvel Boy, and that is Wendell Vaughn. Okay, so he becomes Marvel Boy. And he joins up with this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So you get Texas Twister and Blue Streak and a bunch of other weird kind of superhero-y characters that were part of a S.H.I.E.L.D. team. And Marvel Boy is one of them. Now, for anyone who's not aware of who Wendell Vaughn is, Wendell Vaughn, as Marvel Boy, will later become Quasar. Okay? Now, Quasar hasn't really shown up done really much, and I think the last time a character with that name was even in comics was during the Annihilation Conquest series, where it was a female character who took on the moniker of Quasar. Quasar had the Negabands, which were given to him from it's all kind of tied up into Captain Marvel mythos and stuff like that. Specifically, the male Captain Marvel, not Carol Danvers. But here's the thing: I just wanted to bring this up because it's funny. In the 90s, I actually really liked Quasar. His book was fun. It was weird. I don't know. I was a kid. But here we have Incredible Hulk 234. This is a very fine minus copy at $18. Okay? Now, what gives this book a teeny bit of value is this is the issue where Wendell Vaughn, a.k.a. Marvel Boy, becomes Quasar. Now, you ask, why did he change his name? Why is this issue important, and why does it acknowledge that his name gets changed? And I'll tell you why. It's because a bunch of people made fun of him. That's it. A bunch of people made fun of his stupid name, and he decided that a better version is to call himself Quasar. So there you go.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. So again,
now keep going. He wants to hear the rest of what you got to say.
I looked through the issue. He's such a baby about it. A bunch of people bust his balls. They're like, "Hey, Marvel Boy, what are you like?" He's like, "Man, I like you to become Marvel Boy." So he's like, "I'm gonna change my name. Oh, I'm really into quantum physics. I'm gonna name myself Quasar." And everyone's like, "That's dumb too." And anyway, it becomes a whole running gag.
Quasar Boy.
Quasar Boy.
That's what they should have done.
That's what they should have done.
Mr. English, You can give us a call, probably not after the show tonight. Give us a call Tuesday or Wednesday if you have questions about Amazing Fantasy. Just because after the show tonight, we got other things to do, so we can't really talk on the phone. But we're happy to answer your questions.
Yo, absolutely. Seriously. Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay. All right. So, because we just sold an Incredible Hulk book, let's talk about 3 more Incredible Hulk books that I have up here right now. The first one we're going to talk about is Incredible Hulk issue number 128. Now, this is a fine copy at $20, but the real draw of this issue is it's one of the first times, sort of as we're moving out of the Silver Age into the Bronze Age of Marvel. This is the first early Bronze Age battle between the Hulk and the Avengers. And the Avengers at the time was Black Panther, Goliath, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and the Vision. So that's sort of the Roy Thomas into the Steve Englehart era of the Avengers. And this issue was just a fun issue where, again, the Hulk fights a ton of people. All right, so this is a fine copy at $20. Again, it's issue number 128. Now, right next to that is the Incredible Hulk 250. Now, Al, I do need notes for this one because there's a lot of first appearances in this issue. But the first main draw of, it's a great cover by Al Milgrom, the Hulk versus the Silver Surfer. This was still during the era where the Silver Surfer was trapped on Earth, based on whatever that magical force field that Galactus threw up there or what have you. So you get a cool Hulk and Silver Surfer fight. But this issue has a lot of first appearances for international superheroes. One was the Israeli superhero Sabra. Another one was, who are some of the other characters?
You get Sabra, you get Red Guardian 2.
Okay, that's the female Red Guardian.
Arabian Knight, Ursa Major, first team appearance of the Soviet super soldiers, Dark Star, Crimson Dynamo, Vanguard, and Ursa Major.
Okay, and Ursa Major is the guy, the big bear. You know, he's the big bear villain and stuff like that. So, okay, so this is a fine plus copy at $20. There we go. Oh, Mr. English. I think I just saw him. Okay.
Take this one, and Jason's going to take this. What is it?
Oh, it's the first appearance of Wendell Vaughn as Marvel Boy.
Cool.
You need the two together. You need him to first become Marvel Boy, and then you need him to get made fun of so much he changes his name to Quasar.
Quasar Boy.
Okay, and this is another first appearance. Now, for anyone who's been reading The Immortal Hulk recently, the Hulk has this sort of team that I don't know how many people are familiar with called the UFOs. The UFOs consist of 3 men and a woman. Their names are Ironclad, Vapor, X-Ray, and do you have the? Who's the 4th one?
What are we doing? Immortal Hulk?
No, it's Incredible Hulk 254.
Oh, 254. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Vapor, X-Ray, Ironclad, and who's the 4th one?
Vector, Ironclad, Vapor, and X-Ray.
Okay. All right.
The UFOs. That's all I got.
The UFOs. It was a group that were trying to recreate the events that gave you the Fantastic Four. It didn't go well for them. And they became these weird villains called the UFOs. Now, they've been recently, they've been hanging around the Immortal Hulk, messing up the Hulk. If anyone's ever read like the Peter David Hulk run, they played a big role in that. At first, when these characters were introduced in this issue, I imagine the writer and the creative team, they didn't think they'd be around too long because the characters actually die at the end of this book. But the MacGuffin sort of retcon is that they die and then they kind of like float up into space where they get bombarded by even more cosmic rays. And so they come back to life. But anyway, this is sort of the evil Fantastic Four, and they only seem to ever fight the Hulk. I don't know why they never fight the Fantastic Four, but they always fight the Hulk. And this is their very first appearance. This is a very fine minus copy at $10. So if you're interested in some B or C list villains, depending on how generous you are, here you go. Incredible Hulk 254, the very first appearance of the UFOs. There we go. All right. So we got that there. Let's see what else we have going on here. I have so much stuff. Okay, let's roll into a couple of these for anyone who's looking for maybe some reprint books. Okay, so we have a bunch of fantasy masterpieces. So back in the late 60s and early 70s, Marvel started to do a lot of these reprint books, and fantasy masterpieces is no different. All right, so here we go. This is Fantasy Masterpieces issue number 3. At Very Good Plus. Most of these are Very Good Plus. Pretty much almost all of them are. This one is $10. Now this reprints. It's Captain America Comics. So Captain America Comics is actually the timely or Atlas era World War II era Captain America books. So this predates Avengers number 4, where you reintroduce Captain America into the Silver Age and all that kind of stuff. So these fantasy masterpieces are primarily reprinting Golden Age era Marvel Comics. Like right here, you have Fantasy Masterpieces issue number 5. Again, a $10 comic. Captain America fights a lot of Nazis. I'm pretty sure it also reprints the first appearance of the Circus of Crime.
Let me ask you a question
Yes.
about the notes here. So it says the Captain America stories were edited and redrawn to conform to the code.
Thank you. I completely forgot that. Yes, a neat kind of anecdote to these reprints is so the original Captain America comics were created prior to the Comic Book Authority Code, which was created in the 50s. So when these issues were reprinted, they had to go in and change some of the art or completely remove certain panels to conform with the Comic Code Authority, which in the 60s was in full force. I mean, it was oppressive.
Do you know what the offenses were?
If you the Marvel fandom website, they break them all down, but it's stuff like certain characters smoke a lot. There's a lot of that. Certain characters use weapons that the Comics Code Authority deemed too sexual, like whips. Again, if anyone knows anything about the history of the Comics Code Authority, it was garbage. It didn't make a lick of sense. And in fact, they Streisand affected most of the thing. By removing certain things, they were projecting so much deviance into this stuff.
Now, do the Masterworks, are they edited for content? If you get does anybody? I didn't know that this was a thing that they edited for the code. So would a Masterwork? I would assume they wouldn't.
My educated guess would say that when the Masterworks were being published, that maybe the Comics Code just didn't have the same kind of weight, even though they were still doing it. I mean, we're talking we already did the Amazing Spider-Man issues that Stan Lee did, the drug issues where they just avoided the Comics Code completely. So I don't know, actually. If anyone knows in the chat, when Masterworks collections of a lot of these Golden Age comics were published in the 80s and early 90s, the Comics Code Authority was still around at that time. Did they edit them in the same way that they did with these reprint issues? Or by that point, were they just screw it?
Who cares? If they're just smoking and
no one will notice.
There's just some sexy whipping.
Yeah, there's a lot of sexy whipping. There's a lot of blonde Nazi women whipping the bare butts of Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. That was definitely something that they got rid of a lot of.
Mr. Williams, that'll go great with our Avengers.
So to coincide with that, here we have 2 copies of Fantasy Masterpieces, number 7. This is a very good copy at $8. This is a very good plus copy at $10. Again, and just so we're clear, we've only been talking about the Captain America stuff, but these Fantasy Masterpieces, they're not just Captain America comics seem to be the big one, but you get a lot of Bill Everett, Namor.
You get some Strange Tales.
Yeah, you get some
mystery.
Yes, so you get some some Journey into Mystery, some Strange Tales, which is a lot of the monster stories at the time. You get a lot of Jack Kirby, Joe Simon. You get Bill Everett. I'm trying to think of some of the other artists. You get a bunch of a lot of those timely Atlas Marvel.
Gene Colan.
Oh, early Gene Colan.
Don Heck.
Don Heck. How could I have forgotten Don?
Gil Cameron. You get Marvel.
Yeah,
You get a bunch of Marvel guys.
Yeah, a lot of Marvel guys, and there were like 6 of them. Like this one here. This is Fantasy Masterpieces number 9. This is actually a really good condition. It's a fine minus at $15. This reprints Marvel Comics number 1. Now, just so we're clear, it reprints the original Human Torch Marvel Comics number 1. But you also get some Submariner, you get some Captain America, you get some Monsterosa. Oh, this is a fun one. You also get I Don't Believe in Ghosts. Okay, the hook behind I Don't Believe in Ghosts is there's this guy who hires people to find ghosts. And so these people go out to the haunted houses or what have you to find these ghosts. And they always get debunked. And the guy keeps paying these people to keep debunking these houses and stuff like that. Well, the great reveal is that the guy paying all these people is himself a ghost. And that by disproving that ghosts aren't real, he's able to live his life without anyone bothering him. So, and for anyone who's never read a lot of these like 40s and 50s and 60s horror stories, sci-fi stories, they usually end with a lot of irony.
So thank you to Mr. Barucci for claiming fantasy number 9. Since you got all the other fantasy masterpieces, maybe you'll surrender this one to Jason since he needs it for his collection. But you guys work that out amongst yourselves.
Work that in the chat. Please be friendly. Treat each other with respect. We're all fans of comics here, and we're all.
If you would prefer to fight, feel free to fight.
But it has to be videotaped because then that's our commercial.
Oh, that would be sweet.
In fact, that will be.
Actually, I'll buy the book and then you both fight. And I'll give it to the winner.
Okay, so here we go. This is Fantasy Masterpieces, issue number 10. This reprints the very first appearance of the All Winners Squad, which was Captain America, Lady Liberty, Namor's weird little buddy, Bucky, Human Torch, and the greatest name of all time, Whizzer. There you go.
Whizzer?
Whizzer. Yeah, he ran really fast. He really had to go.
You think DC was like, let's name him Whizzer? And they were like, no, just do Speedy. Speedy's better.
Speedy. So anyway, that's Fantasy Masterpiece number 10. That's a very good plus at $10. And last but not least, Fantasy Masterpieces, issue number 11. Now, this one is actually the one that's in the worst condition out of all of them. This is a good plus at $6. But the big one of this reprints is the very first appearance of Toro, the sidekick of the Golden Age Human Torch. You also get the origin of the Black Knight and Morgana Le Fay. You also get some Captain America and Submariner stories. Oh, and just so we're clear, if Namor shows up in any of these war-era comics or reprints or what have you, I can tell you what the plot is for all of them. Namor fights a Nazi U-boat. Seriously, man, I was doing
Namor was ahead of the curve.
Every story, he just fights another U-boat. It's like, seriously? You could have come up with any other? Like, he's just constantly fighting U-boats. All right, so there you go. So there's our fantasy masterpieces. I wanted to show everybody. So there we go. What's up? Something happened?
No, I think it all resolved itself in the chat.
Oh, cool. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. It would have been fun if people fought, but I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying if we can make money off of it, then...
That didn't get resolved. Just random chat business.
Oh, random chat business. Oh, see, that's the problem where I don't know what's going on in the chat. I always think that people are talking about what I'm talking about.
Dick Sprang is the best name in comics. That's a bold statement.
Dick Sprang. All right. Good one. Okay, I just want to, for anyone who was watching our local show, thank you. But I want to roll out for anyone who was not there with us in the beginning. I want to give them the opportunity to see a few books that we were talking about, spotlighting during our local show. The first one was actually not on the local show, but I just want to throw it out there because, again, this book keeps going up. So I want to give everyone an opportunity. We've had a couple copies, but we're starting to kind of, they're getting weaned down. And that is Captain America, issue number 25. It is when Sam Wilson officially becomes Captain America. This is a very fine near mint copy at $20. And for anyone who missed out on the Avengers West Coast issue number 94, when Roddy becomes officially War Machine, this is not as in wonderful condition as the one Mr. English was lucky enough to grab, but this is still a very fine copy at $20. And for anyone, again, who missed out on this one, we've been talking about Namor, we've been talking about the Hulk. This is a fun issue where Namor and the Hulk fight, and if there's anything I've learned with Tales to Astonish 100, in any issue of the Defenders, probably the greatest superhero battles is when the Hulk and Namor, two petulant children, fight each other. And this is Incredible Hulk 118. It's a fine plus at $30. Now, again, like I explained on the local show, really what gives it the fine plus, it's actually a gorgeous copy, but someone wrote right there in between the two characters, it's hard to see with the glare, they wrote Ox or something, and we've learned if there's any writing on the cover, you're not getting past the fine plus, you know. So, boom, fine plus, $30, Incredible Hulk 118, where the Hulk and Namor fight a bunch. Right up after that is Tales of Suspense, issue number 97. It is a fine copy at $50. It's the first appearance of the villain Whiplash, looking nothing like he does in any other time. But also, it is the first meeting between Steve Rogers, Captain America, and the Black Panther, T'Challa. Right next to that is, sticking with Captain America and first meetings, is a very fine copy at $30 of Captain America 241. That's a Frank Miller cover of Frank Castle standing on the shield, pointing a gun that doesn't look real. It is the very first meeting and battle between Captain America and the Punisher. And okay, these are big speculation books pertaining to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Most people are probably familiar if you've been watching these shows that we've been doing, but I want to give everyone an opportunity, but I'm going to be real fast. This is Captain America Sam Wilson, issue number 3, very fine near mint, $40. It is the first appearance of a character by the name of Joaquin Torres, who will become the new Falcon. This is Captain America Sam Wilson, issue number 5, very fine near mint, $30, the first cover appearance of Joaquin Torres as the Falcon. For anyone who's been watching the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, Joaquin Torres has already been introduced. He's the one helping Sam try to infiltrate the Flag Smashers. There's a lot of theories. When Sam becomes Captain America, Joaquin Torres will become the new Falcon. Also, we have here another first appearance. This is Booster Gold number 1, a very fine near mint minus copy at $50. It's not only the first appearance of Booster Gold and Skeets, but it is the first appearance of a villain by the name of Blackguard. Now, why has the first appearance of Blackguard made this book go up even more than it was a couple years ago? It's because whether he looks like this character or not, Pete Davidson is playing the villain Blackguard in the Suicide Squad sequel. So whenever you see Pete Davidson in one of those Suicide Squad trailers, he's Blackguard. Okay. Next up is, real quick, this is the Ultimates number 1 from 2016, so it's not to be confused with the Ultimate Universe Ultimates, which was just the Avengers. This is the first appearance of the team, which constitutes as Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, Spectrum, Monica Rambeau, T'Challa, Black Panther, America Chavez, and a little character here by the name of Adam the Blue Marvel. Now, this is a 1 in 25 Terry Dodson variant. This is a $30 book, but also what gives this book value is it is the first appearance of Io, right? Is that what Io? And Io is part of the Dora Milaje, which is the bodyguards, the all-female bodyguards of the Wakanda royal family. Also, she is the character who appears at the very end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 3, and she's the one who F's everybody up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier number 4. She is also, with her partner, she plays a big role in the book, The World of Wakanda, which there's a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation. We know for a fact that Ta-Nehisi Coates is developing a World of Wakanda sort of series for Disney+, and the idea is that she's going to play a major role in that series. But even if she doesn't, she's already playing a major role in other Marvel Disney Plus series. Also, just for the sake of, information, Adam, the Blue Marvel, once it was revealed who he was, his original miniseries, the first issue, like I said on the local show, we'd be lucky if we had that. It's like a $500 book. It's crazy. But the entire 5-issue miniseries itself was such a low print run, and now the character has become such a cult figure for a lot of fans that every issue from that 5-issue miniseries has value. And this one is no different. Plus, it also coincides with our favorite punching bag, Namor. And I'm talking about Adam, the Legend of the Blue Marvel, issue number 4. Very fine near mint copy. That's a Wendell cover. This is the issue where Adam fights Namor. Now, again, it's a $30 book, primarily because it is a rare book. Now, what's that?
We're going to take a little break.
Oh, okay. We're doing a break, so thank you. Peace. Be well. Hey, it's us again. We're back. Okay, I'm just going to keep rolling into what I was sort of already talking about before. At one point, I had this idea. I was going to have different segments for each of the, but whatever. I put in so much effort just trying to get all these books together.
Before we do that, so there's been some questions about bundles being presented. We don't really have time for bundles tonight, it looks like, because there's a lot of spotlight books, and Brendan has been so kind as to take a lot of time researching them, and he wants to talk about them, so we're going to do that. But we do 3 other shows tomorrow and Tuesday. Tomorrow 12 to 1 and 4 to 6, and Tuesday 10 to 12. So we're definitely going to have bundles on there. I'm sorry, we're just not going to get to them tonight. That being said, there's also bundles everywhere in the store. So there's always new ones being made.
And trust me, I have 3 long boxes back there of bundles that need to be made, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of bundles to be had and to be made.
Yeah, and for anyone who's been paying attention, who watches all of our shows, or who maybe stops in and hears me being a baby about it, I've been churning through our backstock back there, trying to make some room on the shelves because we have tons of comics and we have a storage problem.
Yeah.
We don't have enough storage space for them all. So I've been like burning through them all and stuff like that. So you would have noticed the past probably month or two, most of the bundles have been a little bit more DC heavy.
Yeah.
That was because I was working my way through the DC sections. I'm now into the Marvel sections. So you're going to start seeing with the bundles, we're kind of working through the last vestiges of the DC stuff, and we're now getting into a lot more Marvel bundles. So if you're interested in those, you can see them with Al and Mike on the Comic Book Shopping Network.
Shopping Network on Facebook.
On Facebook.
If you want to make a purchase, you will have to register. But 12 to 1, 4 to 6 on Monday, and 10 to 12 on Tuesday, and you can watch it for free. And if you have any questions about it, it's the same deal. Just interact in the chat.
Exactly. And obviously, when we do these shows on Sundays, we will get the bundles. It just ended up having the 2 weeks allowed me the opportunity to really kind of dive more into Spotlight books. In fact, I had some choice, like some awesome Spotlight books that regrettably never made it to the show because they were purchased prior.
Now, just so everybody knows, my man does a lot of work for the show, producing the Spotlight books, getting everything together. But if you're in here during the week and you see him working on them, those books are for sale.
Yes.
So, I mean, if, I appreciate everybody watching the show, but it does make sense to come in here every once in a while.
Because when you walk up and go, is that for sale? And I sit there and all of my plans just go out the window as I say, yeah, it's for sale. And they're like, I'll take it. And I'm like, okay. Because Al made a great comment. He's like, dude, sale's a sale. I'm like, I know, but I had all these ideas and these plans.
I mean, let's call it what it is. You had the first appearance of Brother Voodoo.
Yes.
You had the first appearance of Deathstroke.
Yes.
You had the first appearance of Bullseye.
Yeah.
You had Hulk. Was it annual #1?
Yeah, the special #1, that
with
very famous Jim Steranko cover.
You know how, like I do with it's not up there now. Kyle, can you put that up there? You know how I do. It's the same cover. It's me on the cover.
It's where the Hulk's all like, trying to hold it up and stuff like that. So actually, that's a great anecdote. I want to, because I didn't know this until I was looking at so that very iconic Jim Steranko Hulk cover that has been homaged ad nauseum throughout the years of him sort of like holding I can't get over there enough time. Okay, I didn't know this was Marvel thought that Steranko's Hulk face was so intense and veiny that it looked like he was having difficulty pooping. So they actually got Marie Severin to come in and redraw the Hulk's face. So that iconic cover is actually Jim Steranko, and then the face is Marie Severin. Well, Cranky Steranko, as he's gotten older, has decided to coin the phrase that Marie Severin's Hulk face is actually Teddy Bear Hulk. So if anyone ever makes a joke about Teddy Bear Hulk, it is in response to Steranko's issues with Marie Severin coming in and changing his I'm constipated Hulk into I'm just Hulk and I'm strong and I can hold up my own title.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, he got really upset.
Steranko, he's a special case these days.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Hey man, he's still the inspiration from Mr. Miracle, right?
Didn't they? Was it Kirby that used to redo his faces? With like Neil Adams would do the faces for some of the books. Does anybody? I remember hearing
John Romita, like Zanin and Zanin, if you're still in the chat, man, you're the best at this stuff. He would talk about how like Romita defined the Marvel style so much in like the late 60s and 70s because the amount of covers that Romita would go in and sort of like redraw or like make some changes so the characters had a more universal look. Yeah. Now, I think a lot of artists and a lot of publishers have done that a lot. But Zanin and I was particularly talking about Romita because we were talking about that Steranko, Marie Severin sort of issue.
So thank you, Mr. Barucci. Yeah, apparently Kurt Swan would do it with Kirby stuff.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So
cool.
You go. So yeah, you get the Kurt Swan Superman face,
mm-hmm.
and then
and then you get the Kirby kind of like body and form and all that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Which, I mean, that makes total sense. And in fact, when I've been learning that more. I never realized how much that really happened until I started doing more research for these books. Because when we're talking about like, the writers, the artists, I also want to know who did the covers and stuff. And some of these covers have like 5 artists on them. I'm like, what the heck happened? And sometimes it was something as simple as one artist just redrew an arm and the other artist redrew a foot.
Just do the what do you call it, the finishing.
Yeah. So it was part of the industry. And it worked in a lot of
They
ways.
stopped doing that. That's why Rob Liefeld's characters don't have feet.
Or if you're a good artist like Mike Mignola, you just do a lot of like smoke and fog
Oh, there you
that cover, or they stand behind a lot of rocks. There's a lot of interestingly placed rocks.
It's very misty.
Yes. Okay, so let's burn through some more Spotlight books right now. Again, like we said, bundles. Mike and I will have some on the Comic Book Shopping Network tomorrow on Tuesday. And again, trust me, at some point I'm going to run out of Spotlight books, and I'm going to be desperate. And so we'll go back to more bundles. We'll have lightning rounds. We didn't even get to do variant sales.
Mr. Lime has a good. Maybe we could do a bundle night.
Actually, that's a great idea. At one point, I was thinking of maybe even doing a show it's just best offer show. We just put things up there and be like, give me an offer. Let's see what happens.
We should do that show wearing one big pair of pants.
Okay.
And we could both be in a leg of pants. Like we're a bundle.
Nice. Like we're a bundle, yes. No, because again, I understand sometimes with the Spotlight books, they might get a little pricey and what have you. But again, we're just every show is a little bit different, to some degree or another.
Can you run through that one again? It's been asked about a couple times.
Okay, yes.
I apologize. We didn't mean to overlook you.
Yeah, so this is Incredible Hulk 118. Now, pretty much, it's really just Hulk versus Namor. But when it comes to late Silver Age, early Bronze Age comics, some of the best stories are when Hulk and Namor fight. In fact, I've always made the argument that my favorite superhero team of all time is a very specific Defenders team. That is Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Namor, and the Hulk. Because you're talking about 4 individuals who are all introverts, they're all assholes, and they don't get along. And it is hilarious. And yet some of the greatest superhero battles of all time is Namor and the Hulk. Now, just so we're clear, it's a book that has a lot of value because of its age. Because again, any book, like anyone who is familiar with the book Tales to Astonish 100, that has that very famous Hulk versus Namor throughout Miami fight, which is awesome. This is very much akin to that. The reason why it's only $30 and I have it graded at a Fine Plus is the joke that I've made a few times tonight. Somebody decided, for whatever reason, to write what looks to be ox right there in between the two of them. Other than that, the book is actually gorgeous. The colors are great, spine's great, staples are good, corners are not the sharpest, but they're not breaking up or anything. No tears. Everything else is good. The pages aren't that yellow or anything of that nature, but somebody with a ballpoint pen wrote ox on the cover, and we've made the argument that if anyone writes anything on the cover, the book can never, ever get past the Fine Plus.
That's why Bernie Wrightson screwed up that House of Mystery.
I know, right? That bastard. So that's our Incredible Hulk 118. Is it walking away from us?
It's walking away, so thank you, Mr. Barucci.
Thank you, Mr. Barucci. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to go through a few more Spotlight books before we run out of time, because I know we have a harder out than normal. So we got a little less than 10 minutes. So let's just kind of go through this. So we're going to primarily do like Captain America and Falconish stuff. So I really hope you stick around, but I understand if you bow out earlier than normal. So real quick, we're going to do, this is Sam Wilson, Captain America. You've already seen a few issues of that with the Joaquin Torres. But this one is issue number 7, and the reason it has a little bit of value, it's very fine near mint at $10. It is still polybagged. It has never been opened. It is a Comic-Con box exclusive variant by Mahmoud Ashur. You have Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers, and Bucky as Captain America. Oh, and I caught that perfectly. Woo!
Okay.
Here we go. This is Captain America and the Falcon, issue number 141. Al, would you do me a big favor if you're able to? My notes definitely have all these Captain America books in them. So I just want to make sure. Like, they fight the Great Gargoyle, this issue, is this the one where Falcon officially becomes his partner?
I'm sorry, what issue? What
This is 141.
41. This is the last issue by Stan Lee.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I knew this was unique in some way. All right, this is a Fine Plus copy at $18. It is the very last time that Stan Lee writes Captain America before Steve Englehart takes over for a while, and then before Kirby takes over. Now we're going to get into real quick into another artist who kind of had a really neat run, even though it was pretty short, and that was John Byrne on Captain America. This is Captain America number 247. It is the first issue where John Byrne starts to draw the book. I believe Roger Stern was writing the book at the time.
Yes. Yeah, Roger Stern.
Roger Stern. Okay, this is a very fine plus copy at $6. And then right behind that is Captain America issue number 250. Again, illustrated by John Byrne, written by Roger Stern. This is a very fine plus copy at $6. And we also have a very fine minus copy at $5. All right.
Let me ask you a question about that one.
Yes.
Is there multiple stories in that one? Because there's like 4 different writers listed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, who are all the? Yeah.
So you get Roger Stern, Don Perlin, McKenzie, and then Jim Shooter.
Yes. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. It was a anniversary issue and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
All right. So sticking here, we have Captain America issue number 251. This is Captain America versus Batroc the Leaper, who recently appeared in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they fight Mr. Hyde. This is again illustrated by John Byrne. This is a very fine minus copy at $5. And then we get into a couple of the issues that have a teeny bit more value, and that is Captain America issue number 253. This is a very fine plus copy at $10. And then I have a second copy. It's a very fine minus at $8. Now, this is the first appearance of a character who will later become the third Union Jack. So this is his first appearance in this issue, which then leads into this issue. Now, this is the big one. Out of the entire John Byrne Captain America run, this is the issue that probably has the most value. This is Captain America issue number 254. This is the issue where Baron Blood is killed. It's where Captain America chops off his head by smashing down with his shield. And if anyone recently saw the Falcon Winter Soldier episode number 4, that final image of the episode was quite evocative. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. But this is also the death of the very first Union Jack, and it is the issue where the new Union Jack Chandler or something?
Joseph
Chapman, thank you. Where he officially becomes the new U.S. agent. This is a very fine plus copy at $15. And then, just for a little fun, this is Captain America number 348. This is the issue where the character Flag Smasher, he was a random character, not an actual militia group, but this is where Flag Smasher beats the heck out of John Walker, Captain America. That Captain America is not Steve Rogers. That's John Walker, who will later become U.S. agent. And also beats the heck out of John Walker's partner, Battlestar, which again, if you've seen the most recent episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, Battlestar's got some problems. Here we have Marvel Premiere issue number 49. This is a fine plus copy at $12. That's a John Byrne cover, though I'm pretty sure he doesn't do the interiors. This is from 1979, and this is the first solo story that the Falcon Sam Wilson ever had. So up until this point, he was only a supporting character, a co-star, but still supporting in the Captain America book. This would be the first time he sort of had his own solo story, even though it would take years before he ever actually got his own solo ongoing series. Okay, with that said, we also have 2 other issues of Marvel Premiere that have a peripheral relationship with the Captain America mythos, and specifically Bucky Barnes. And that is Marvel Premiere number 29. That is a fine plus copy at $8. It is the first appearance of the Liberty Legion, which is a team that is sort of like born out of the All Winners squad. And you also get another Wizard. Wizard shows up again. So there we go. That is a fine plus at $8. And here we have Marvel Premiere number 30. It's a $5 book and Fine Plus. Now, in my notes of Marvel Premiere, there was something where like Bucky leaves the team right before he dies.
Was that number 30?
Yeah, number 30.
So number 30, Bucky leaves the Liberty Legion, and then you get Fred Davis, who replaces Bucky Barnes in 1945 as the second Bucky.
Okay, so Fred Davis is first introduced in this issue of Marvel Premiere issue number 30. Fred Davis would become the second Bucky, who would be the sidekick of the second Captain America. All right, so, and plus you get Red Skull being Red Skull. We also have here the very first Invaders Annual. This is issue number 1, annual number 1. This is a fine copy at $15. Also, I was not familiar with this artist before. This is Arthur Schoenberg, I believe is his name. I think he was a pretty prolific Golden Age Marvel Atlas Timely artist. This issue is the very first time, which I think this issue came out sometime in 1977. It was the first time that Schoenberg worked for Marvel in over 30 years. So it was a big deal at the time if you were aware of who he was.
Is that like his last work?
I think it's around, yeah. I didn't get a full confirmation it was his last work. The thing that people kept talking about was it was his first Marvel work in over 30 years. But I'm pretty sure he was quite an elderly man at the time. So who knows how long he really hung on. Okay, now last couple things just to kind of coincide, because I kept talking earlier about the Dora Milaje, specifically the Io character. That was in regards to our Ultimates number 1 here. I also have here the second issue of that series. This is Ultimates number 2. This is the Fred Hembeck variant. This is the very fine near mint copy at $15. The two kind of key things of this is it's the second appearance of Io, probably one of the biggest Dora Milaje characters right now in the MCU, but it's also the first appearance of Galactus the Lightbringer, which is the kind of anti-version of Galactus. I would like for them to pick up that concept later on. It was kind of neat. But that was a very fine near mint copy at $15. And because I've mentioned this book a few times in regards to Tanisha Coates developing a series based off of this stuff. Also, that two of the main characters in this book is Io of the Dora Milaje, and also her partner who appears in some of her first appearances before she gets named. And that is Black Panther, World of Wakanda. That is a very fine near mint copy at $10. It also introduces this character right here, whose name I'm flaking on, but she's sort of like the head mistress or the den mother of the Dora Milaje. And again, there's a lot of rumors going around. I mean, this book is written by Coates. So when people talk about Coates developing a World of Wakanda series, they're specifically talking about these characters and this sort of.
Is that legit happening, or is that just speculation at this point?
I mean, it seems to definitely be happening, but until they start casting and until they start filming,
it's all kind of
anything could go up. I mean, again, let's not forget for some people who don't care, this is not going to mean much. But it's someone like myself who was looking forward to it. Some of you might have heard that the Ava DuVernay and the Tom King scripted New Gods movie that they were developing for Warner Brothers and DC. They pulled the plug, which kind of sucks because I was really looking forward to that. I really hope Eternals is like $1 billion movie, and Disney looks like DC looks like bum.
He was like working on that when he was here.
Yeah, I know, and he was so excited about it, and it seemed like Ava was really allowing him to really pick up the themes and ideas that he was doing in the Mr. Miracle series. And again, if you've never read Tom King's Mr. Miracle, it is definitely one of the best comic series to come out within the last decade. It's beautiful, it's brilliant. It's wonderful. I love Tom King.
We do have a near complete run. We don't have any trades in stock.
Yeah, like people have been coming and looking for it for some reason.
I don't know if it's out of print, or I know they did a hardcover and a soft cover.
Or maybe because DC, the distributor,
DC. So you know what? Just so everybody knows, DC has a new distributor, and I guess they're shipping all their books from Diamond to the new distributor.
Something like that.
So DC's trades are very hard to come by right now. So just bear with
Yeah, so
us if you ordered anything.
We've had a few problems with certain customers where usually back in the day we put in a reorder for a book. As long as it was in print, as long as it was at the distributor, we'd have it within a week. Now, because of this transition that's occurring with all the distributors, and probably some of you have heard that Marvel in October, they're going to get their own distributor. So there's a lot of moving parts right now. And one of the big things as a retailer we're having some difficulty with is some of our DC reorders we're just not getting in, the best time. So we just ask for some patience from some customers, especially when looking for very specific DC books.
Real quick, because we're going to get cut off.
Yeah, we're going to cut off.
So tomorrow morning, Comic Book Shopping Network on Facebook, 12 to 1 and 4 to 6. And then Tuesday, 10 to 12 on the Comic Book Shopping Network on Facebook. Any questions, you can hit us up. You can come in. We're open Tuesday through Sunday. Various hours. Hit us up. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, hit us up on fjccshow@gmail.com. That's the email for Al and I in regards to getting those books shipped out to you. Before we get cut off, again, everyone, thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for everyone who's made purchases.
It's been a while. We appreciate everybody. Go Phils.
Thank you. Yeah, go Phils. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care. Be well.